just jump right into it, huh? So this is a pseudo build around submission for green black rock. A person submitted this archetype, wanted to see my boy Courser of Kruphix as well as Tireless Tracker as the primary threats inside of the green black mid-range archetype. And then they also wanted me to utilize Unbridled Growth as a kind of green 1-mana cantrip that also can sacrifice to enable Revolt on Fatal Push, which is kind of neat. So one thing that I like doing with green black in Pioneer, or at least I did last time we played Pioneer, so I think Sylvan Advocate's a really great threat. So Vigilance 2/3 for 2. As long as you control 6 or more lands, Advocate and all lands you control get +2/+2. So this pairs very well with creature lands like Hissing Quagmire and Mutavault here, which is great. So we've got a pretty high land count here, 26 lands total, because I've got 6 creature lands as well as 2 Castle Locthwain. So we've got what's that, eight lands altogether. Something I thought about doing but ended up not. It's possible that some Bolt lands should be in this archetype. Some copies of Turn Timber or Eggdom's Awakening could be possible. We've got Thoughtseize as some disruption, as well as Agonizing Remorse. We've got some trophies and some decays. We've got some Questersons here at the top end of the curve to close things out. So it's been a while since I poked at Pioneer. I should probably check. Oh, look at that. I have play points, chat. We have 156 play points. We can play a league. Pioneer League. Sign me up. Hey, J-Man, thank you for the 16 months. I really appreciate that tier 2. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Good morning and thanks for the follow, Michael. I've got my overlay set up. I had to rebuild this one. I didn't have it set up still. One thing that's really nice about Pioneer now is that the pathways mean that our 2-color mana bases no longer just suck, which is great. Which is nice. I don't think untapped Hallowed Fountain means I'm supposed to hold up Fatal Push. Oh, spirits. Okay, so it did in fact mean I was supposed to hold up Fatal Push. Are they gonna play a Lord now? Watcher of the Spheres. Yeah, kind of a Lord. Doesn't Pioneer have all of the fast lands? It does not have all of the fast lands. It is the same fast lands that Historic does. Also, even with all of the fast lands, it's still not great mana necessarily. I really hope that Wizards puts the rest of the fast lands into Historic sometime soon. That would be a pretty net positive for that format. Looking like we're probably going to get run down here. We really need to draw more removal, and we've got a lot of creatures in our hand right now. And this is part of the danger of... Oh God, so I play it like this to play the green side? All right, good. We nailed it. We figured out the Moto interface. The danger of putting 3-drops in a deck like this is there's a lot of matchups like this where you need to be a little bit more interactive. So I do think there's a chance that our number of 3-drop threats requested in this build are a little bit too high. It'll probably be good in fair matchups, but in a matchup like this where we're just racing, it's going to mean we're going to be too slow. Yeah, Courser is not Oracle of Moldiah. 1 land, you gain a life. You can play the top card of your deck if it's land. And like, I get to play another Courser here, and I get to gain 2. But yeah, like we're just dead, right? We're not. We can't race this. All right, so I have an Abrupt Decay. I have a Fatal Push. I have a Languish. I have Witch's Vengeance. I don't know. I feel about all of these. I feel like it's probably a Collective Brutality matchup. It could be a Liliana the Last Hope matchup too. I definitely want to trim a number of my discard spells. Could be an okay Scavenging Ooze matchup, honestly. Yeah, it was funny. I was watching someone stream. I think Ashes is all. She streams in the evening, so I've been watching some of her stuff when she's been doing Historic, and she was talking about how that she thinks the secret to Historic is you need to figure out Ashes is only. She's like, you need to figure out how to put Faceless Haven into every deck that can play Faceless Haven. I was like, oh my sweet summer child. If only you knew about Mutavault and how that's eventually going to get there and how right you are. I mean, she was right in a way that like putting creature lands in most decks that you could put creature lands in is excellent, but like just having people who haven't experienced like this card going in everything is obvious. Do I want to fit in Collective Brutality here? I don't know that I do. I don't know if that kills enough. You know what? I'm gonna do these. I'm gonna cut these Thoughtseizes just a little bit too slow. Hey, Raynor Noah, thanks for the tier 1 sub. Good morning. Yeah, this seems fine. Needs a third land, obviously, but we play a lot of lands. Pioneer is closer to Historic than I thought. Yeah, it really is at this point with the addition of mana. And honestly, some of a number of the bigger differences in Pioneer versus Historic is actually not the direction I think a lot of people think. So, like, a lot of the bigger differences in terms of things that get to be playable in Historic versus Pioneer are related to the fact that Historic has cards that aren't Pioneer legal in it. So, like, things like Muxus and other Jumpstart cards change Historic away from Pioneer more than Pioneers away from Historic based on other things. Yeah, Jumpstart was a huge difference. Think I want to play this as green here because I think I want any land we draw to be able to cast Courser, because Courser will help us find black mana for Witch's Vengeance. I think we err on the side of this. I'm gonna pass with Trophy up here, I think. The overlay's working just fine. It shows whichever card. I need to make a habit to try and mouse over my opponent's most recent card when it comes into play, so it comes up in the corner. And this is so Trophy gives my opponent a land if it resolves. So them countering Trophy with this is actually good for me because now I can Fatal Push this Watcher of the Spheres, which is excellent. And they don't get a land. We have, unfortunately, this is a 26 land deck, right? Okay, yeah. So this deck can go into my memoirs 26 lands later here, as we fail to draw resources. This is where the magic happens. We kept a 2-lander on the plate. It's now turn 4. It is not Noah. So I would estimate that they're probably 4 or more years away from getting Pioneer in its entirety on Magic Arena. It's going to be a pretty large undertaking. We have a format there called Historic that is basically everything that's from Arena legal sets, but it's not quite the same. Like sometime between 11 and noon, Beansy. Get Rattlechain's tier and be really sad. Selfless Spirit. Okay, so this is actually better for us than Rattlechains at least. So we at least got 1-for-1 tier. So this made their Supreme Phantom indestructible and saved it, but it means that we didn't get 2 for it at least. I mean, eventually Lala Witch Arena will have Pioneer. So everything that's currently legal in Pioneer, their goal is to eventually have all of those things on Magic Arena. I think I'm gonna play Courser here and try and gain some life. I'm gonna wait to play my land out here until afterwards. There's a Spell Queller. Honestly, getting Courser Spell Quellered is like not terrible for us because of Witch's Vengeance here. They don't have another counterspell for that can clean up. Yeah, it's huge. And they're honestly, I think Wizards has taken a smart approach with how they're doing their remaster sets. They're like getting the cards on sooner rather than later that are good, that they can code quickly. So that's a good thing on their part. Okay, if they don't have a counterspell or another lord, this game should be over. But naturally their last card is going to be another spell queller, but you know, I'm gonna shoot our shot here. So, one thing I could have slightly done differently that set is I played a Fatal Push on my turn and got Selfless Spirited. It could have been right to play the Fatal Push on their turn to try and bait a Spell Queller so that way I could untap in Witch's Vengeance. Could have possibly been correct. Like, it could have been a chance that they just like couldn't pass up the opportunity to Spell Queller removal spell. No, I would be surprised if that's the case, Silence. Like, Smuggler Copter isn't a hard card to program, and it wasn't in Kalitas Remastered. So I would imagine cards that are banned in Pioneer just won't be created on Arena. Is it actual everything or just the important stuff like how Moto does Vintage? I mean, to be fair, the number of cards that Moto doesn't do from Vintage are pretty small. And like the type of edge case cards that Moto doesn't have for Legacy and Vintage are like really awkward designs from like 2 decades ago for the most part, or some random conspiracy cards. Again, hand looking a little bit threat dense, but definitely keep. A Spicy Strawberry, thank you for the follow this morning. Good morning. Listen, chat, before I was a streamer full-time, I worked for a Fortune 50 company doing process automation in Excel. So I am no stranger to taking money to work in spreadsheets, okay? Wooby the God, good morning, and thank you for the follow. All right, looks like some green stompy here. Ooh. This is probably a card I gotta kill, right? And that's an excellent draw. Getting to Abrupt Decay as opposed to Assassin's Trophy is great because I really don't want to give them an extra land on turn 2. Oh, I think this means Green Devotion. So this could have maybe met Stompy, but Jade Light Ranger means they're the Green Devotion deck, which means we should expect things like 5-mana Nissa out of them. They binned both of those. They did miss a land drop here, so extra happy that I didn't, extra happy that I didn't trophy them. I mean, we have evidence to the contrary against that, wannabe Kurt. Nowhere have they said that they're, like, why would they waste resources and time printing, like, the goal of them back adding cards to Arena is to make Pioneer be legal there. So why on God's green earth would they spend time designing and programming cards that that aren't going to be legal in Pioneer? Like, in fact, again, looking at Kalitas, we literally saw them explicitly not bring the card Smuggler's Copter to the platform, which was one of their first opportunities to bring a card that's banned in Pioneer to Arena, and they explicitly didn't. Tony T, thank you for the 10 months of Prime. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Good morning. So, your statement is not based in reality. Does not follow anything unless you have some evidence to back up your statement there. Your statement is just feels, and your feels are ignoring what's actually happened. Yeah, they skipped Walking Ballista too. They skipped Walking Ballista and Smuggler's Copter. Thank you for pointing out Ballista. So yeah, so reality disagrees with what you're saying. Honestly, I think if they attack with this Jadelight Ranger, I'm double blocking. So I'm gonna choose to not attack here. Yeah, I'm looking forward to their spoiler season today, Precipic. Hey, Precipic, do you play Expeditions at all? I was thinking I've been missing playing Runeterra. I don't have a desire to play their current constructed format, but like I miss the actual gameplay mechanics. I was thinking maybe I'd make an Expedition day on stream. I was thinking maybe that could be fun. Hey, it's good to be back, Therapy. Yeah, I'm gonna crack this in game 2. I don't really want to draw an Unbridled Growth next turn. The Shufflers is rigged as the earth is flat, chat. Westlake, thank you for the 26 months. Welcome back. I don't enjoy PvE card games. Things like Slay the Spire they just don't do it for me. I'm glad other people like things like that, but I really just don't. I don't know. I think Copter's kind of a card that just misses on the design because it's colorless. Because it's colorless, it just doesn't. It goes into too many things. And again, like, similar to that last match we played against Spirits, like, I think Courser's a card that's, like, fine to have as a couple of, but, like, Courser's power level and what it's doing just doesn't quite seem on par to be worthwhile playing 4 of in this format. Like, we've got a bunch of Coursers here again, and we're just, like, not really accomplishing anything here. My opponent's cards are just, like, kind of better than ours. We have a trophy for this Nissa, at least. You know what? We've been, Christy and I have been playing Dice Throne with the boys, Sir Elks, and that's been a big hit in our house. They don't fully read yet, so they don't grasp all of it, but in general, it's been pretty successful for us. In my experience, playing largely colorless decks in Pioneer and Modern Charizard, Spatial Contortion tends to be much better than Warping Whale. There's some metagames where Warping Whale is fine, but in general, I'd rather have the card that kills bigger things. Yeah, we have the Season 1 reprint and Season 2. You can, oh man, somebody lied to me. Somebody told me they fixed the bug where I could type in my opponent's round timer, but that does not appear to be the case. So if you look at the top left, LOL MTGO, you could still type in your opponent's match timer. I was lied to, chat. I was lied to. I can in fact take notes of my opponent's round timer. Yes, that's still a feature that's offered here. I think I'm trophying Nissa here before she gets to do anything else. I do have a Murderous Rider on top, but I'm gonna need that to kill other things. You may time me out for my incompetence. I got you. For people that aren't familiar with the Moto interface, by the way, this card here is the top of our deck that Courser is revealing for us. Oh, they have Domri Rod in their deck. All right, yeah, so he wants to fight real bad. Magic Soft Excel. Lol. So if I block here, I take 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we're actually in an okay spot here, right? So, okay, so that's actually great too. So I can sacrifice this to draw this Fatal Push. And then this Fatal Push lets me kill Castle. And then that means they no longer have anything with enough toughness to block Questing Beast. So Questerson gets to hit them and kill their Planeswalker. And then I think I hold this land because of Tireless Tracker on top of my deck. This has a landfall ability to make clues. So I think we just pass back here. Opponent could obviously like rip another Nissa, but if they don't rip another Nissa, I think we've actually stabilized here. Can I be greedy and take 4? Nah, I think I want to trade here because I think I want the Murderous Rider to clean up a Nissa or another Planeswalker if they peel it. And then Courser Tracker together is quite the combination here. Can generate some solid value. Castle Locthwain, good with Courser 2 and Awake, so it lets us know what's up on top of our deck. I think we're rapidly sliding into garbage time here, especially with the piece of spot removal tied up in our hand. Yeah, Tracker is going the distance. He's going full speed. He's all alone in this time of need. He's racing and pacing and plotting the course. This is I'm looking forward to this card being in Pioneer. This is a sweet value creature for mid-range decks for sure. Just like every land drop turns into a card draw. I'm actually gonna hold this clue for now, because yeah, we get to play this land off top. Historic. Yeah, whatever that. The format that's on the other game. Let's get them under the Tireless Tracker Abyss here now. 18 months or 18 years, hard to tell lately. Big mood. Thanks for the year and a half, Sutters. Oh, they draw a big one. That's 6 creature mana, huh? They got up to 8 mana here. Fatal Push sounds nice. Scavenging Ooze sounds nice. Languish sounds nice. Abrupt Decay sounds nice. Actually, is Scooz good? I guess they have things that we kill, but this is probably a little bit mediocre, right? I was actually just about to say, I don't remember if that's game 1 or game 2. Genuinely don't remember what game we're going into. I think that was game 1 of this match. But there's actually nowhere on the user interface that tells you what game you're playing. Kalitas seems good against a creature type deck. I think I'd actually rather have Courser to block earlier, and I'd rather have Questing Beast to trade. So Kalitas is fine, but they don't have any graveyard interaction, and they're not really this card's for graveyard decks and decks where lifelink is important, and neither of those things are. Yeah, I don't love the discard. Their hand gets empty. I think I like these 3 Thoughtseizes better than anything else that's in my sideboard. I don't know. Maybe you could make the argument that Kalitas is better than these. On the draw, especially though, having a Thoughtseize really can be valuable to break up their curve. I'm gonna try 3 Thoughtseizes and see how it feels. I could see Collective Brutality on the play, especially. Collective Brutality can kill their turn 1 mana dork, so maybe we'll bring in the brutalities in the play. But on the draw, Brutality is pretty slow. Yeah, shout out. That's a good point too. I should make sure I say that in the videos where we do Moto stuff. Shout out to MTGO traders. They buy and sell Magic the Gathering online cards. Would not be able to occasionally poke into spreadsheets without them. They hook me up with cards for whatever decks I need to play. Yeah, Vital Force is okay. I don't know. I think their deck's a little bit too on the explosive side for this card to be good. I have a referral code. I believe it's Hoagland PayPal. If I recall correctly, it's been a while. Well, Cardboard Live doesn't work with Magic Online. One of the things that's always said too, so Moto has features that Arena doesn't have. And one of the things that would be really nice is that Moto actually has a full game action log here. And it really shows, one of those things to rant about policy and things that get done for a second on Wizards' side. Wizards could literally just dump this action log to a text file, and we would be able to make an extension for Magic Online like we have for Magic Arena, but they just haven't taken the 2 hours or whatever it would take their devs to program this thing that they already have to dump to a text file, which is real annoying. Because I agree, things like Cardboard Live are one of the things that make Arena kind of way more accessible, and it would be nice if Moto could have that as well. I think we just take the Jade Light Ranger here, right? Their hand is pretty slow overall. I guess they have Reclamation Sage for my poor Courser. I think I take this to slow their development. It could be right to take Genesis Hydra too, though. No joke, Enya. I actually know a dev that spent some time trying to work on reading the data from memory manually. They eventually gave up and didn't come successfully, but they poked at it a little bit because that's literally what you have to do. Well, Courser's an enchantment creature, so they almost assuredly boarded in Reclamation Sage side for Courser of Kruphix in the first game, which seems fine. All right, so we can put Unbridled Growth on here, which makes this a rainbow land, and then we can cast Sylvan Advocate. Now, the person who said that was wrong, you could still type in their timer. Yeah, I agree, Nanasul. Like normally I'm a big proponent of don't assume things are easy to do in a software engine that like you haven't worked with, but like they literally already have a game action log displaying in the client. So like even in .NET, dumping anything that you're displaying in client already to a text file should be on the trivial side. We're going to get to see Courser Kruphix go to work here. Or sorry, Courser, we're going to see Mutavault go to work here and punch the clock and kill this Domri. We'll play Modern when they ban Teferi Time Reveler. I promise. Alright, and then Castle gives them Vorinclex mana here. My deck actually does not have a lot of ways to kill Vorinclex. Is it actually just 2 copies? Oh, they're Gen Hydrating for 2. Sure, for 4, sure. So I get to cast Nissa here. Arena deck submissions are $50. Moto deck submissions are $60 because I have to pay $10 for a league here. Wow, that's a great draw. You get to take their Vorinclex before it happens. I think I'm playing Courser because I really want to hit a land drop this turn. Swing and a miss. That's unfortunate. Because if I could hit 2 land drops in a row here, I could Languish and not kill my Sylvan Advocate, which is why this is a great sweeper with this card. This is 4/5. But now they get to kill this with Reclamation Sage, and then I'm gonna have to miss my land drop again next turn. No, I think Heartless Act is playable in this format, James. Yeah, I just had so many other removal spells in this deck already. Like I think in a non-green black deck you'd probably play Heartless Act, but like I've got Fatal Push and Abrupt Decay and Trophy. Although it's possible to that 4 Fatal Push is too many in this deck, and perhaps I should be playing some Blood Chief's Thirst because Abrupt Decay and Fatal Push overlap some of the same space. If that makes sense. If we'd have hit land with that Courser and then had another land on top, we might have been okay here, but the fact that I'm stumbling here, I think, means we're just dead. Really needed to trigger the Sylvan Advocate extra attack. Just good for... Oh, shit. I could have... Oh, you know what? I forgot about this card. Is there a land on top of my deck? I bet I messed up here. Oh, they have a 6-mana spell, so it doesn't matter. I'm gonna draw with this before I concede. I forgot we had a cantrip sitting on board. Yeah, okay, wow, I really messed up. So I could have drawn this tracker with this, and then I would have hit the Overgrown Tomb the previous turn, and then I would have drawn something else this turn. When I hit another land, I wouldn't have. We didn't trophy though, and trophy would have let me kill this. Yeah, maybe we get out of that if I... Maybe we get out of that spot if I, if I remember to draw with my growth. I mean, honestly, part of me wants to just cut all of these coursers because they boarded in Rex Sage. Feels real bad having them be able to answer that way. Yeah, I honestly think the Bant Angels deck in Historic is probably going to become a format staple. Deck felt genuinely powerful. Now, I think I decided against Thoughtseize, as seeing how Thoughtseize, or the Brutality, seeing how Thoughtseize played out that game. They just have so many big bombs that Thoughtseizes is important to take. Like, we'd have been dead to rights that game if I didn't have Thoughtseize to take away their Vorn clicks. You'll be able to find the deck list in my video description on YouTube tonight. Does Cardboard Live let me post deck list directly? I don't think it does. I don't think I can log in on their site. Yeah, Cardboard Live doesn't do Moto. I also posted it in the Pioneer channel on Discord, or you can look at it here on stream and get it yourself. Sorry, not the Pioneer channel. What do we call it? The Paper Boomer Formats channel under the Magic category on the subscriber Discord server. Pioneer falls into Paper Boomer Formats. I will say I haven't missed Moto giving people 3 minutes to sideboard. That's like a minute and a half too long. What does you mean on Twitch? You have a mod sword, you have a horse because you're a 31-month subscriber, and you have a Hoglandia shilling because you've cheered some bits. If that's what you're referring to. Well, that's true too. You can mouse over them, and they'll tell you. Oh, you're on mobile. Yeah, that's what those icons are. Mod sword, sub icon, bit badge. Morning, Crockett. Thank you for the 21 months. Yeah, Magic's been good. Jury's still out on Pioneer. Arena's been good. Historic, and Standard both felt reasonable. I've got this Pioneer deck and one other. How did BB treat me? What is BB? Oh, Bloodborne. No, Bloodborne was so bad I didn't even put it on YouTube. Those types of games I don't find enjoyable. Bloodborne is literally 3D Hollow Knight, and Hollow Knight was a dumpster fire of a game in my opinion. It's not the type of game. I'm glad. I get that other people enjoy it, but other people are masochists. I play games to have fun. Once we get paper events again, the next major Legacy Vintage GP needs to be in Tulsa so we can call it the OK Boomer GP. Good morning. Got 3 things for the entire year. Other people are masochists. I would like the record to reflect that I was paid money to play Magic the Gathering online, and other people play games like those others for fun. So listen, I don't kink shame. You're into what you're into, but that's definitely the definition of masochism, playing games like those. Your game is literally punishing you and making you feel bad. So like if you're into being punished and being made feel bad, like, you know, different strokes for different folks, but call a spade a spade. Let's not pretend it's not. My safe word is pauper. Love Struck Beast, thanks for the follow. And hey, Agent X, Agent 13, thank you for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people you can send that to every single month here on Twitch. Thanks for sending it my way this month. I mean, to be fair, people in this channel ask for timeouts as social commentary more so than because they enjoy punishment. Maybe it's both, but the core of the timeout meme here in Hoaglandia is related to social commentary more so than anything else. Yeah, I've got a bunch of variety games in the stream queue on my site, so there's a number of things up there. What are we playing next? I think it's Bug Snacks is the next game we're going to play, if I recall correctly. So I think it's important that I kill something this turn so they're not ramping an incredible amount from Schnickthos Shrine to Nyx next turn. It's the guy. Thanks for the half a year. Welcome back. I think I'd rather just use Decay here because it's more resource efficient. What's going on, Pixieville? Thank you for the 16 months. I got you. Sylvan Advocate's going to be a big boy next turn if we live to get there. Boonstrand, thanks for the follow. Praise Helix Fossil with the brand new Prime. Welcome, good morning. Okay, so I'm going to sacrifice this to draw a card. Is there a land hiding underneath this? There is not. Okay, so that triggers my revolt, though. Which is nice. So I can push this off a cliff. And then these two get to kill their Vivian. And then this upticks here. And it feels like we're in the driver's seat now. They only have 2 devotion. If they find like a Vorn clicks, we could be in a little bit of trouble, maybe. Hello, I mostly watch your YouTube content. I finally got Prime, so I wanted to ship some Bezo books. I really appreciate that, Fossil. I'm glad you enjoyed the YouTube stuff, and thanks for keeping me around. Wouldn't be here without folks like you. I think Tracker would be too powerful standard based on Zendikar and Gold. I'm not at all. This card's super fair. This is a super good example of a super fair, reasonable card. All right, so they can trade Burning Tree for Tracker. Ooh, they could minus Nissa and then eat my thing. Really surprised they're not killing Tracker here. I feel like that's a miss. All right, so we get a couple of looks at a removal spell here. All right, so this game is over, right? I get to draw with a clue, so I'm no... These happen. I draw Abrupt Decay. I get to Abrupt Decay this. I get to Liliana this. I get to kill both their planeswalkers in combat. Yeah, and opponent's going to concede. Nice. Prototype in session. Thank you for the 21 months, and thank you for the very generous tier 3. Good morning and welcome back. We died to spirits in the first match. Our deck does not have enough interaction for that. I think for people that are joining us, this was a build around submission that requested 4 Courser and 4 Tracker. I think 4 Courser is too many. 2 or 3 at most is probably where I would land if I had full control over it. 4 Tracker is good though. I think Tracker is kind of the nuts. Tracker drawing cards is wonderful. Tireless Tracker is fun for the whole family, chat. It's lovely. Is there a way to make our deck better against spirits? Yeah, just put a bunch of Doomblades in it. Our deck doesn't have enough Doomblades. We basically just like drew a bunch of Courser Krufixes and died. If you go back, the archive will be up on YouTube tonight as always, but that's the spoiler. We drew a bunch of Coursers of Krufixes and died. Balls, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon, good morning, whatever time of day it is. I'm gonna go ahead and murder this. Let's me use my mana for the turn. One of the other things that's a touch awkward is, so if I hadn't drawn this second Tracker, I wouldn't actually play this Tracker on 3. Because ideally you want to play Tracker and make a land drop right away with it. And Courser and Tracker are both kind of like that in that they're 3 mana spells that you really don't want to cast until turn 4 in a lot of instances. Because you want to get value with them right away. Wow, no removal spell out of them is huge. So if we can manage to not die in the short term, the fact that we are no longer clueless here means that we should be pretty far ahead. Like literally, that Fabled Passage is now drawn 4 cards, which is like kind of absurd. Speaking of drawing lots of cards. I think I'm going to take the hit from the Gifted Aetherborn and then probably trade off the Tracker's Extra. They're just not attacking. That's so good for us. think I just pass here. Like, I don't know that I'm really drawing to anything better than Fatal Push and Assassin's Trophy. So probably like crack a clue, trophy something, Fatal Push something. An arena event? What does that mean? Can you just define an arena event? Or just like doming my face here? Sure. We're fatal pushing. Sure, that makes sense. Oh, like a non-ladder event. I mean, like you mean like the 1,000 gold entry events? Like, why would you want to see me play those? I mean, if you donate for a deck and you want it played in there, that's fine. I'd be fine with playing it there. But in my experience, those events tend to have less competitive decks than like where we're at on the Mythic ladder. So having played a bunch of those in the past, I've spent time playing in those as opposed to playing other things when I had decks that I thought were bad, so that way we could have a better chance to win with bad decks. Yeah, it also locks you into a list and you can't make changes in between. Yeah, I feel like the only reason to play those events is if your deck is bad and you want to have a better chance to win against people who also are playing bad decks. Would I rather generate more clues or would I rather gain life with Courser first? I think I'd rather gain life with Courser first. And actually, I'm going to wait on Tracker until I can play some things after it right away because I would ideally like Tracker to not die to Sorin dealing 3. Would be an ideal situation here. So Sylvan Advocate here on top of our deck. 2/3, gonna be a 4/5 for 2 with Vigilance, and it's gonna make our Mutavaults 4/4s, which is like pretty exciting. Big fan of 2-mana 4/5s that make Mutavault more busted. And then Mutavault is all creature type, so I assume they're gonna put a 1/1 counter on it and give it Death Touch here. Lifelink. Am I advocating and questing beasting this turn? I suppose I can Tracker, crack a clue, and play Sylvan Advocate this turn. I think I'm into that. So I'm going to play Tracker. I'm going to crack this. Do I want to crack another clue to get Tracker big enough to not die to Sorin? Probably. probably. What's going on, Foxicon? Thanks for the 35 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. So I basically just need to not die in the short term, because we have so many more cards than our opponent at this point and so many more resources that, like, if we can manage to not get punked out, I think we're pretty far ahead. Like, we have similar number of cards in hand, but we have 4 cards sitting on board and we have 2 creatures sitting on board. So we're ahead. We're ahead on meaningful resource metrics at the moment. And again, I elected not to play Sylvan Advocate out here because I would like to crack a clue if they try to Lightning Helix Tracker with Sorin. Just want that to not be a line available to them. You know, honestly, with this second tracker in my hand, do I trade for this Mutavault? That changes the dynamic a little bit. Now I think the answer is no. So Kalitas would exile my tracker and give them a 2/2, which I'm not really into. Okay, so I think the plan here is, this is my 8th land. And 8th land means I can Sylvan Advocate, Questing Beast, and fire up Mutavault. And Mutavault's a 4/4. Sweet. Okay, so that worked out. Their stuff just died. Good beats. They could have another Sorin here. It is a Planeswalker, and they have been passing without using all of their mana. Yeah, that doesn't really surprise me. Really? Okay. So they going on defense this turn then? Yeah, looks like it with their knight and stuff. Okay, so I think my plan here is tracker, crack a clue, and like try and dig for removal and stuff while we power these up. It's not bad. I don't think I'm interested in trading Questing Beast for a Mutavault here, so I'm just going to go ahead and pass back. Hey, thanks for the 10 months, Duck Doolittle. I appreciate that. Welcome back. And like, we're basically just like waiting for Fatal Push, Trophy, Decay, things like that at this point, right? And again, like, we're ahead on board a little bit. I've got all these clues. I've got more cards in hand than them. I'm just like trying to make sure I don't get punked out at this point. Questerson having Death Touch means this Kalitas can't even really attack in reasonably. I guess if they attack with Knight, I'm kind of obligated to trade Questing Beast for it, but like I have second Questing Beast in my hands, so like that's fine. Yeah, and they're just in this holding pattern here. Hey, thank you for the tier 2 and thank you for the 32 months, Magic Applegate. Welcome back. I'm gonna try and work on becoming clueless here. We're just chilling for now. Of course, our Scavenging Ooze lets me gain some more life back here. Second Courser on top lets us gain some more life. Castle's actually a little bit scary. Castle means they get to start drawing 2 cards per turn as well, so that means our advantage is going to narrow by a small margin here. All of these discard spells looking really bad here in the late game. This is definitely the type of matchup where our discard spells are going to board out. Want as many of our cards to be live as possible in the late game in a situation like this. Yeah, but opponent just ends up conceding there. They understand the writing is on the wall, and they're not going to be able to keep up with our card advantage at that point. Again, just going to bring in a bunch of cards that play to the board and cut all of these discard spells. While discard spells can feel really good on 1 and 2, a lot of times these games are going to come down to situations like that game you just saw, where like we're grinding super late. We want as many of our cards to be able to impact the board as we possibly can. Collective Brutality quite kills enough. It like kills an uncountered Knight of the Ebon Legion, but like that's about it, right? One last taupe is probably fine. Rest of this seems good. This is probably a Nissa Vital Force matchup, huh? Maybe she's better than Last Hope. Last Hope doesn't kill much here. We are a triple format stream today. A little Pioneer Historic Standard. 4 formats. We're going to play Mythgard at the end state, too. I was playing some Mythgard on my iPad last night. So, got some mid-range decks for that format, too. For that game as well. I like mid-range. I like it a lot. Oh yeah, that's a good selling point. If you're someone that's seen me poke at Mythgard before and you thought it looked interesting, but you didn't want to dump money or grind into a new game, Mythgard's running a promo from now for the next month where they're giving away the entirety of their core set for free via six promo codes to everyone. So if you want to poke into a new game and get most of the cards, it's like 2/3 of the cards. Their core set is like 460 out of 750 cards. But their gameplay is good and their client is great. I'd like another black source. Yikes. And again, here we kind of hit that awkward point where, like, I kind of want to play Tireless Tracker to spend my mana this turn, but I also just, like, don't want to spend my mana on Tracker and then have it die without generating a clue. No, I'm not playing Pioneer at all ever. What you currently see on your screen is a lie propagated by, I don't know, whoever propagates big lies. All right, so I think I Fatal push one of these idiots in response to the Champion of the Dust. They draw one less card. Wouldn't be surprised to see Tireless Tracker eat it here. Hey. Niv gives a sub to the big lie. Tapped lands. Feeling pretty dead here. Feeling pretty dead. You'll have to wait and find out, silly cheese. I'm holding you captive with suspense with the title. Yeah, I'm supposed to just jam Questing Beast last turn and slam in. They had a 4/4, Billy Boy. So attacking my Mutavault into their 4/4 seems like a real bad play. You know, no joke. I thought about trying to find some royalty-free music today to start, but then it was time for me to be live, and I didn't have time. It's funny. I was just thinking, gosh, the kids and Christy above me are much louder than usual today, but they're definitely not much louder. This is just like there's no music in my head. I don't even know why I have my headphones on because there's no sound in them, chat. Why am I even wearing the headphones? There's no noise going on in them. Yeah, I think we're dead here. I just got 5 cards in hand. It's just the uniform you wear to work. Yeah, exactly. I'm a creature of habit. Wow, we're up to 600 people for a moto segment already. That's impressive. We're doing Pioneer to start today and tomorrow, and then we'll see what metrics look like and how I feel about the format after that. I don't know that I want to do moto every day, but once or twice a week is probably fine. If there's interest in it. See how the YouTube VODs go. Yeah, this is reasonable. We're the Dragon Star, but that's true. There's a non-zero number of people in that 600 that are definitely just hanging out waiting for Arena to start. These are my thoughts. There are many like them, but these ones are mine. shunned players with their gold-plated sleeves and diamond-encrusted playmats. Back in my day, Tarmogoyf was a $100 card. It was the card everybody wanted. These damn kids and their $50 Tarmogoyfs, they don't understand. Thanks for the bits, Bluefire. I feel attacked. Is Goyf $30 now? Is it that cheap? It was 50. I haven't looked at Magic Finance in like decades, it feels like. $32. Lordy. To all of the Magic Zoomers in chat, I want you to click on that Tarmogoyf link, and I want you to know that that was a format powerhouse. That was the card all the kids wanted. Tarmogoyf brought the boys to the yard. I guess this happens. So then next turn, we like crack this Fabled Passage. We Fatal Push this Murderous Rider off a cliff. We fire up Mutavault. We attack for 4. And then actually, it's worth noting here that if I would have played the Fabled Passage a turn earlier, I would have been able to play Hissing Quagmire this turn, and then I'd be able to attack with Mutavault and Hissing Quagmire next turn. So I might fail to have lethal next turn because of my land sequencing here. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah, now I lost my creature land altogether. Yikes. Yeah, it's like if I draw a land this turn. Oh, I drew a Questing Beast. What is your quest? I seek the face. Questing Beast is great, by the way. You should play more Questing Beast in Pioneer. Are we 2-1? We're 2-1. Flex. Look at our fair magic. Fair magic goes brr. Yeah, two chances to get our money back. For people who haven't played Magic Online before, Magic Online is unregulated online gambling. So it costs you $10 to play a Magic the Gathering online league. If you get at least 3 wins, you get your $10 back plus extra prizes. So we're currently 2-1. Leagues are 5 matches. If we win either of the next 2 matches, I make my money back. I would like the record to reflect that we now have the technology that we can finally window capture Magic the Gathering online, which is sweet. I used to have to capture my entire desktop for you all at home to stream this program. I don't have to do that anymore. Jay Shrimp, thank you for the 27 months of Prime. I appreciate that. Welcome back. You can't currently see it on stream because my window capture doesn't capture the floating windows. But you can. There is a finding opponent league here. So this is me capturing my entire desktop. You can see my Twitch chat and stuff, and the card viewer is gone. But then I also have this scene that doesn't involve capturing my desktop, which is and now the floating window appears. When I switch to desktop and then switch back, the floating window appears. Ooh, software magic. Ooh. You rebuilt the game in Minecraft. we found the workaround. Just gotta click on and click off. OBS's features are built on public shaming. We've been in the queue for 2.5 minutes, chat. Oh no. How many people are in this league? So, people often wonder why Magic Arena doesn't have more game modes. Magic Online doesn't have multiple servers, chat. In the entire world, the entire planet Earth, there are only 191 people currently interested in playing Pioneer on Magic Online. That's the size of this league. 191 globally. So what's a comparison sake? What is the old modern league? Can I view this without joining it? I don't think I can view it without joining it. I got a couple DMs asking why chat is in sub-only mode. Because have you met human beings? We can't have nice things. Are you kidding me? Because if people want to shout profanity and obnoxious things at me, they got to send me a $5 first. God bless Griffinson. Four minutes and 20 seconds in the queue. Blaze it, chat. I work as the merchandiser for a beverage company. Currently, over half my company is quarantining because of people testing positive, and somehow I'm still working today. I have no idea how to feel. Grateful. Lucky. To answer your question in a less sarcastic way, if you want to interact with me for free without sending me any dollars, I understand things are tough for a lot of people right now. I read every comment posted on my YouTube channel. So, like, if you are a reasonable human being who would like to get my opinions on things or point out a mistake that I made or a better line or a better card, I read those and I interact with them. So, that's a good place for you to be able to do that. Shillings actually don't let you chat. I actually disabled that feature when we went back to Magic. I have played Hades. I wasn't a huge fan. Which I know is like sacrilege to say to a lot of people. I feel like my non-card game opinions will like upset a lot of people with relations to games. I like didn't like Bloodborne. I don't like Hades. Like Super Giant makes excellent video games. I actually like, I think Transistor is definitely my favorite of the Supergiant series of games. And I also like Bastion more than Hades as well. I'm gonna get Boros Charmed here. That card's legal, isn't it? God bless America. I let myself get Boros Charmed off of this. I mean, we're just dead, right? Because I don't have Colors of Mana. I'm gonna cast Thoughtseize and look at some cards in their hand before we concede. Searing Bloods and stuff. Yep. I really wish, I would love it if the thing I liked most about Transistor, if you haven't played it, is the leveling system. The leveling and skill system Transistor is honestly one of the best RPG leveling and skill systems I've ever touched. And I would love it if like that leveling skill system was imported into like a AAA style quality game that's like full 3D graphics and combat. I think it would be sick. All right, so bringing in all of our life gain. Probably don't want this at the top end, actually. The rest of this seems fine. I think this matchup against the Burn aggressive deck is probably pretty reasonable for us in general. We were missing on both of our second colors in that game. We were on the draw, and I didn't have much removal. A Transistor, it's a Supergiant game. Seems fine. Needs to draw a land, obviously. We need to put this into play tapped on one, and this is untapped green here. We have some Advocates to play to the board. We've got a Collective Brutality. We've got a Courser to gain life with down the line. If you haven't seen Transistor before and you want to see some gameplay of it, if you go to my webpage, jeffhoagland.com, and click Variety Playthroughs in the dropdown, I've done a playthrough of it on stream. No, I have MTGO Trader sponsors me for Magic Online stuff. All right. I think we're being collectively brutal. The question is, what are we doing with it? I don't think this is a 3-mode brutality. Is that crazy to say? Is it crazy to not do a 3-mode brutality against the burn deck? The Modern League has almost 900 players in it. Sweet. I mean, it only gains me 2, right? Like, I'm definitely doing a 2-mode brutality. I think I'm killing this and I'm duressing. I think the rest of these cards are all great. Like, if I had, like, another land here, I think it would be fine. Roiling Vortex. That's just rude. Take their Boros Charm here. It's been a long time. I've never actually played any of the Civilization series on a sum. Yeah, that's my feeling too. I think the other cards will gain more life than they currently have face up. Vortex is much better than Skullcrack against Courser. You're not wrong. Sure. They still have a Searing Blood in their hand. Oh, but Searing Blood only does 2 to a creature, right? Yeah, so I will Tracker, play the land, crack the clue right away. And then this doesn't die to Searing Blood. Obviously, they could point a deal 3 at it, but then pointing a deal 3 at my creature is like a huge win for us. The fact that our deck doesn't take a bunch of damage from its mana base makes this matchup feel pretty good, I think, too. Like we have 4 shock lands and that's it? Yeah, opponent's just conceding. Sweet. Fatal Push and lands that cast my spells, please. Well, I mean, that's like half of what I asked for, technically speaking. Sure. This is probably going to be a 3 brutality, 3 mode brutality game. Gotta light up the stage here. Light them up. They're on fire. Okay, so am I binning these two? I think I'm binning these two, right? I'm binning Tracker, Scavenging Ooze. Is that the play? Gosh, is it right? Is it right to just do a 2-mode brutality again? Like the second Scavenging Ooze seems valuable. Yeah, I think this could just be a 2-mode again. This could just be a like kill discard again. I definitely don't want the Tracker, but I feel like the Scoozes are gonna do work. I feel like there's a good chance my first Scooz dies. And like, if I keep a backup Scooz, I can play out the first Scooz on 3 and not feel bad if it dies to a deal 3. How's the process building the deck? Much format research. Well, the format just kind of got flipped on its head, so there's not really much to research. Wow, that's brutal. Wow, that's yikes. That's super unfortunate for us. Well, get 2 for 1. You both got collectively brutalized. Yep, basically. All right, so they have Ferocidon, Swift Spear, Eidolon, 1 card I don't know. I mean, anything they're going to cast here requires them to point something at my Scavenging Ooze, right? This is a Blaze? I think this is a block with the second Ooze in my hand, honestly. I think I'm taking this weekend off from playing in SCG tournaments, but I'm definitely planning to play more in the future. So not intending to play any this weekend, but definitely more at some point. The Burn Pit, thank you for the 1.5 years. I appreciate the prime. Welcome back. I think I need to just pass here, right? I think I can play this other Skews out. It's good to be back, Burn Pit. So I got to take 2 from this now, but I get to make sure my Skews doesn't die to a deal 3, which is great. We're 1 land away. We're at a point where lands are decent draws and spells are decent draws, because lands power up Sylvan Advocate. It's another Searing Blood. I'm just going to take the hit. My Scavenging Ooze gets to grow 2 more next turn, which puts us on a pretty quick clock. I have 3 cards in hand. We could theoretically die here, I suppose. Seems unlikely, though. There's no Lightning Bolt in this format, right? The opponent has 3 cards. It's a little teeny tiny number right up there. Well then, so do I just hang out for the turn then? I think I just hang out for the turn, right? I guess I could attack and force a chump block. I think I'm just gonna pass. If they want to cast any more spells, they take a bunch of damage. I guess this is a 6-ball. Is it worth killing an Eidolon here? It probably is, right? Because I'm attacking with 4 big things next turn. I mean, they're definitely blocking. The question... Oh, Advocate has Vigilance. Yeah, I'm dumb. Yeah, the Advocate should definitely be attacking his Vigilance. That mistake could cost us. Simon, thanks for the 7 months. Welcome back. Like, they have to chump block. I guess they technically don't have to because I have Sylvan Advocate. I didn't attack with Sylvan Advocate. Okay, that block means I'm at 12 now. Like I said, I'd expect this matchup to be okay for us. Feels like it's playing out that way. Sylvan Advocate doing a phenomenal Tarmogoyf impersonation here. He does pump lands too. Yeah, Mutavault and Quagmire are both 4/4s. I remember that line in text on him. Yeah, honestly, it's better than Tarmogoyf would be in this situation. Because of my creature lands. Would you likes to fight, Taylor? Okay. I mean, I think I'm firing up Hissing Quagmire here and blocking both of these. I would like to block. And even if they kill Advocate here, right? Like, let's say all of these die, that's 4 more food for my Scavenging Ooze, right? So unless they have something like a Chain to the Rocks, they're going to be pretty dead here. Even if they have Chained to the Rocks, like, I'm going to gain enough life that I could probably get out of this. Gain 1 in response here. Well, there's an Eidolon in their bin. Clear. Oh, I'm dumb. I deserve to lose this. That's fine. They have no cards in hand, so hopefully we're not going to lose, but definitely should have attacked a Scavenging Ooze before playing that Courser. I should be +2 here right now. Alright. We won in spite of myself. We're 3-1, chat. Look at that. We cashed our first Moto League back. Pile of fair green and black cards. You love to see it. Remember, if you missed any of this set, we've been playing for almost an hour and 40 minutes. It'll all be up on my YouTube channel this evening. Do you have notifications turned on for my channel, Moldylocks? Because following a channel and turning notifications on when I go live are different. Also, if you're in the subscriber Discord server, I tag people when I go live there with different modes. To be fair, it's been a long time since I played Moto. Moto has a full replay history in the game mode, so if I look back before today, the last time I played Magic Online before today was September 26th, 2020. And before that, it was July 15th, 2020. So it's been a hot second. This is fine. Removal spell, threat, plenty of mana, 2 discard spells. Just guide control here, maybe? Show me your secrets. Just guy Luca, looks like. So they're on the play. Do we just take their Fires of Invention here? I feel like I just like take fires, and then they play Chandra on 4, I play Questing Beast and smack Chandra. Is the sequence here? And then with this Clarion, I just wait for... With this Clarion, I wait for Sylvan Advocate to be a 4/5 before deploying it. Yeah, obviously Questing Beast will hit them and then hit Chandra simultaneously. Just like we drew it up here, chat. Haumph. I don't get a big Haumph animation in this client. I need a Haumph animation, chat. I need it. Show me all secrets. Our opponent's got huge tracts of land. Great, and we took the Clarion so we can play this and threaten lethal next turn. Why not discard the payoffs? Because they could draw a payoff. And Fires does a lot in their deck long term. That's why they're playing it. Because I had 2 discard spells for both Fires. Like I can't discard spell the top of their deck. They wish upon a star. Rest in peace. What do you think my deck does, opponent? Like, I know we call this Tarmogoyf, but it's not actually Tarmogoyf. Alright, so a land is lethal. That's sad. Like, what did we think this was accomplishing? Like, is there really not a removal spell in their sideboard? Like, is there not, like, a Deccan Stone or something for them to have there? Yeah, maybe they think I'm a Delirium deck, I guess? If Collective Brutality's good here or not. Fatal Push seems real mediocre. Discard spell's good. Liliana to grind a little bit seems good. Vital Force. I mean, they only had 2 mana left. So, like, they almost assuredly have a sweeper in the board. They just couldn't cast it. I was surprised they didn't have something like a Deccan Stone, though, to, like, get rid of one of my 2 threats in play. Abrupt Decay seems kind of mediocre. Oh, right. They're a Luca deck, right? I should board in Cage. Yeah, they're probably a Luca deck, right? So Cage comes in. Good call. Gotta cage the elephant. That's true. That's a good catch. If they're playing Fae, they're not playing Luca. Much better than Sylvan Advocate is London Longtusk Cub. Way, way better. I cannot put into words how much better Sylvan Advocate is than Longtusk Cub. Longtusk Cub is fucking terrible. Sylvan Advocate also gets bigger over time. Sylvan Advocate is bigger when you top deck it in the late game, and Sylvan Advocate takes your creature lands and puts them into overdrive. Longtusk Cub is not a particularly playable card. Maybe inexplicitly an energy deck it's fine, but outside of that, it's really not. I think we do this and then hope to draw untapped land next turn so we can slam Questing Beast. My opponent put Mountain and Sacred Foundry into their hand, unsurprisingly. 26 lands, deck. 26 lands. Thank you. What is your quest? I seek the Jace. Ow. Got him. He's dead, Jim. It's not the land I wanted for Christmas. Shark Typhoon. Yeah, that one's gotta go. What am I casting here? Is it Liliana, so that way I can get Questing Beast? It's Liliana, draw Questing Beast. They have land, Narset, Parter of Veils in their hand. Yeah, we also milled 2 non-lands here, skillfully working our way towards our next land drop. They drew Shark Typhoon. Well, shit. Well, shit. If this Narset hits a good spell, there's a good chance we're going to be locked out. No, Narset got Teferi. Okay, so their Shark dies to my 5/5, and then Questing Beast kills Narset. So Sweeper's not good enough here, because I have Liliana rollback plus Nissa in play still. Well, that's a really good draw. Yeah, I think the Shark Typhoon's gonna just bury us here, unfortunately. That was a very good top deck after we Thoughtseize them. Missed land drop for another turn here in our 26 land deck. What do we have in the graveyard? Nothing useful. Can technically emblem this, but I don't have any lands. So almost got out of that. I think if we would have drawn a land that last turn with the Sylvan Advocate in hand, we very likely would have won. But unfortunately we didn't, so that's magic. A land would have been lethal. Oh, that's not true, right? Because they had Heart of Korean they could have animated. They would have had... Yeah, they would have been able to animate Heart of Korean off of the Teferi. What does the ship do that makes us concede? I wasn't conceding to the ship. I was conceding to the fact that I couldn't kill them, and my opponent was getting to untap with Teferi and Shark Typhoon and a bunch of other sharks in play. So the ship can crew off of their planeswalker, so I couldn't pressure their life total or their Teferi there. So I get that I conceded after they play this. That might seem confusing to some people at home, but this is not the card I conceded to. I'm hoping they don't have Deafening Clarion in their deck post board. If they do, we'll just go play Magic Arena. The Tension Sphere, that's fine. Yep. Yeah, I don't know how we win from here. Feels pretty unwinnable. Yeah, so close. Destroyed them game 1, close game 2, where they got a really lucky top deck, and then this game, not a whole lot we could do about it. Their curve is just pretty excellent. And again, for people not familiar with my opponent's cards, Heart of Korean can crew utilizing Planeswalker loyalty. So oh, and they get to counter this by killing their Chandra by removing Planeswalker loyalty. Gross. And then if I had like a fatal push here, I could push this and kill their Kaya, but without that, I think we're probably up a creek without a paddle here. Hey, Captain, thank you for the 40 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. And Zero Gamer, thanks for the 16. I missed that one a few minutes ago. It doesn't have a land type, but yeah, the new card types, you just pick which side you want to play them as. So 3-2's not bad. We got our money back. As far as this deck goes, green black seems fine. I think the cards, so people, someone was just asking about Unbridled Growth. This card's not good. It was cute at a couple of points in this league, but honestly, after playing that set and after playing in Historic with both too, one thing I've kind of become convinced on is like Fatal Push isn't really a card that I want to play 4 of, and like so. This was a build-around submission for Tireless Tracker, Courser of Kruphix, Unbridled Growth, and Fatal Push. And they originally wanted 4 Unbridled Growth, and I cut down to 2. And I would get rid of this card altogether. 4 Tireless Trackers was great. This card's card advantage monster, great mid-range threat. Like, play 4 of this. Courser's like a 2 of at most. It's just not a powerful enough effect to be willing to put this many 3-mana cards into my deck on average. I think Fatal Pushes, honestly, I would probably split with Bloodchief's Thirst. Like, not only that last deck that we just played against out of our opponent, but there's things like Green Devotion in this format, and this format is mid-rangey enough that Planeswalkers are a threat that you really care about, and only having 2 copies of Assassin's Trophy that could kill, well, I guess I had Murderous Rider too. I would still want Bloodchief's Thirst. I think that would be the direction I would head in. So Questing Beast was a standout a standout card in the games that we played, like having this as another pseudo answer to Planeswalkers, as well as something that allows us to pressure people consistently, felt really good. Honestly, I could see Nissa Vital Force being a card you play in the main deck, just like good card advantage that closes games out quickly, kind of in a similar vein to Questing Beast. This is basically a green haste creature in a lot of ways. So core of the deck was good. Sylvan Advocate and Creature Lands overperformed again. I like this as a threat in this archetype, but the number of courses is bad, Unbridled Growth is bad, and Fatal Push continues to be pretty lackluster. All right, we're gonna shift gears and play some Arena for the next part of the stream.